All right, same kind of equation, same kind of question. Go ahead and try it. Let me know once you have the equation. Okay, this is x squared over 4 plus y squared over 25 equals 1. All right, let's try another one. This is a little bit different. 25x squared plus 9y squared equals 225. What do you notice about this equation that's different from the standard form? Especially the equal to. In the standard form, it's equal to what? 1. What is this one equal to? 225. So how do we make sure that this 225 becomes a 1? Huh? Yes. We're going to divide everything by 225. All right, this is the trickier part. When you use your calculator, do not actually divide because we want a fraction. We want to see what the denominator is. If you just divide, you're going to get a decimal and you're going to be very confused. So your calculator has a fraction simplifying function. Do you guys know where that is? So on your calculator, you can type in a fraction. It will simplify it for you. So for example, this 25 over 225, you're just going to type in 25 over 225 and then enter. It's going to tell you 1/9. There is a fraction button. Okay, of course, you could just do, simplifying on your own and then get it into a nice fraction. But calculator may be a little faster. So it's x squared over 9. And then you're going to put in 9 over 225. Again, please don't divide. Okay, that's y squared over 25 equals 1. Okay, before you graph anything, H, K, A, B, C. They want you to figure out the foci. All right, HK, ABC. What is HK for this one? 0, 0. This is the easy one. How long is A? 5. Just take the bigger number and square root it. How long is B? 3. Okay, C. All right, C squared is A squared minus B squared. So go ahead and figure out what that is. A squared minus B squared. Okay, so how long is C? 4. All right, before you start writing equations, let's graph it. The center is at 0, 0. Where is the major axis? On the x or on the y? Y. Why is that? It's the bigger one and it's underneath y, right? So that means we need to go up 5 and down 5, not left and right. So this ellipse is longer in the y direction. So we are on page 10. Page 10, on the very bottom, we have this practice problem. What are the coordinates of the foci of the ellipse with this equation? Okay, the first thing you should always do is make the equation equal to 1. Okay, so divide everything by 3,600. You need to make sure that it's equal to 1. Okay, at this point, please make sure, again, I don't know if you did that last night, The coefficient, don't use your calculator and actually divide because you're going to get a decimal, and that's not what we want. We want to simplify it so then there's a very clear denominator, okay? You do have a button on your calculator to simplify fractions. I don't know if you know that. There's a fraction button on your calculator. Did you guys know that? No? You can use it to simplify fractions so you don't have to figure out what is the greatest common factor and all that stuff. So if you want me to show you where that is, I can do that. Otherwise, simplify this and go ahead and find your HKABC. Okay, x squared over 100 plus y squared over 36 is equal to 1. So HKABC, HK is 0, 0. A is 10, so A is the longer one. B is 6. C, you have to use the formula C squared equals A squared minus B squared, so that is 8. So this tells us that the major axis is on the x axis because A squared is under x. Okay, so x is longer one. That means foci has to be on this major axis as well. Okay, the foci always goes with the longer axis. Therefore, the foci points are on plus minus 8, 0. Okay, any questions? Yeah.
How did you get 8?
C squared is equal to A squared minus B squared. Make sure you do minus. So C squared is equal to 100 minus 36, which is 64. All right, let's try another one. And then we need to move on. Okay. All right, what is the standard form of the ellipse shown below? So from here, go ahead and figure out HKABC. All right, so from here, you can see that A is 8, C is 5. Please do not estimate B. So the reason they give you A and C is for you to find B, so don't estimate B, it will be very wrong. Okay, HK is equal to 0, 0. A is 8, B is don't know, C is 5, so then C squared is equal to A squared minus B squared. That means B is a very weird number, square root 39. Okay, so then the answer is x squared over the longer axis is x, so that's the 64, plus y squared over 39 equals 1. All right, let us move on to hyperbola. We're going to take 2 days on hyperbola because hyperbola is probably the hardest one out of all the conics. Okay, let's write the definition. Hyperbola is a set or the set of points P in a plane such that the absolute value of the difference between the distances from P to two fixed points F1, F2, which are called the foci, is a constant K. So what does that actually mean? Hyperbola is formed by taking the points and going to the foci, and then take the difference between those two distances and then finding the absolute value of that. Okay, so I would make you guys actually make a hyperbola, but we don't have time, so we're just gonna analyze it. Okay, hyperbola is kind of similar to the ellipse, but not quite. This part is still the center. So center is still HK. Center is still HK. You can see that this hyperbola is basically like two parabolas, right? So then a lot of the parts are similar. For example, this one here, they are still the vertices. I'm just going to write V for vertices from now on. Okay, so it's like a parabola. Parabola has a vertex and a focus, right? So same thing with this one. It's just going to be double of that. Okay, vertices. And then you can see that there are some points inside. These are the foci. Next part, this is the hard part, the ABC. It's very different from ellipse. A. A is the distances between the vertices. So that's still, the same. Sorry, this is 2A. A is going to be half of it. Are you guys okay? You guys look a little bit confused. The distance between the two vertices, if you half that, that would be A. So it's kind of still the same as ellipse, right? You have the two vertices, the distance between them is 2A, so half of that is just A. B is very hard to find, so I'm going to skip that for now. C is this distance, still the center to the focus. Now let's talk about some axes. These axes are totally different from the ellipse. So the long one where the hyperbola is opening on is called the transverse axis. Sorry, writing so bad. Okay, transverse axis is where the hyperbola opens. It's where the vertices are. It's where the foci are. The other one, let's make it yellow. Okay, the yellow one, this one that goes not in the same direction as the hyperbola, this is called the conjugate axis. Oh, whoops. Okay, so the conjugate axis is where the hyperbola is not opening. All right. Can you see that there are some dotted lines? Yeah? Okay, those are, when did you see dotted lines before? Inequalities, yeah, and then like, not matrix, maybe in the one where we had like rational functions, where we had like 1 over x. If you had to graph 1 over x, and then we had something like this, and then we had these dotted lines. Do you remember what those dotted lines are? Kind of. Yeah, it starts with an A. Oh, not axis of symmetry. Asymptotes. Yes, wow, very nice. Asymptotes. Because they are lines you cannot cross, right? So in hyperbolas, there are extra things, which are these asymptotes. Okay, so we are going to, I'm just going to label these so you know what they are, and then we're going to write some equations for them. All right, B. So we have A, we have C, now we have to find B. B is hard to find because it is just hard to tell you how to find it. Okay, the way you find B is you have to draw a box. How do you draw this box? Huh? Okay, you start with the vertex. You start at the vertex, and then you draw a horizontal line until you hit the asymptotes. Okay, so let's do that. So we're gonna, go left and right until you hit the asymptotes, and then do the same thing with the one on the bottom. Okay, so start at your vertex, and then go left and right until you hit the asymptotes. And then you're going to connect them together. That way you form a box. That way you form a box. Now B is this part. B is from the center to the edge of the box. So, yeah, no? So from the center to the edge of the box, this is B. So you have to know how to draw the box. If there are asymptotes, if there are no asymptotes, you would probably have to find it from equations. Okay, are you guys okay? That's a lot of information. Yeah, okay. Let's try having you label the one on the right. So you're gonna label vertex, focus, center, A, B, C. Okay, so just those 6 things, you don't have to label the axes. All right, center is centered. Okay, vertices are these 2. Foci are these 2 inside. A is, sorry. Okay, in this one, please be careful. A is shorter than C. Okay, you can see how, from the center to the vertex, you will hit vertex first and then hit foci. Okay, so this is A, this is C. And then B has to do with the box, so we had to draw a box first. Okay, and then B is from the center to the edge of the box. Okay, so double check, make sure your drawing is correct. Okay, we are going to do the same thing we did before with some detective work to figure out where all the points are. So it's going to be a little bit tricky for hyperbola, but I think you guys can do it. Okay, so let's start from the center again. From the center, how do I go to this vertex, this one on the top? Which way do I move? Left, right, up, down. Up by how much? A. So then which one do I move? H or K? K. Okay, so then what's the vertex coordinate for this one? Good. HK plus A. All right, you can do it for this one too, right? Yeah? Okay, so let's just, the drawing is just very messy now, so let's just write on the bottom. So H comma K plus minus A, because there are 2 vertices, right? Up and down. Just want you guys, I think you guys can fill this all out, right? Yeah? No? People are like, no, please don't make us. Okay, foci. Foci are the green ones. Foci? No, just foci. Okay, so from center, HK, how do I get to the foci? Or this one on the top? Go up. So then, go up by what? C. So which one do I move, H or K? K. Okay, so that is going to be what? H comma K plus C to go to the top, and then plus minus C if you want to go to both. H comma K plus minus C. All right, the last one. This is the hardest one. Asymptotes. Let's talk about equation of a line. This is like chapter 1. This is like algebra 1. Okay, so if I were to write an equation for this diagonal line, this one that is pointing towards the top right, I want you to talk to your partner. What is the slope of this line? Don't say it out loud. This green line. Oops, sorry. This green line. What is the slope of this line in terms of A, B, C? Okay, talk to your partner. What is the slope of this line in terms of A, B, C? All right, so just the green line, what is that slope? Slope, remember, is rise over run. So what is the rise? A, what is the run?
B.
So what is the slope? A over B. How did A and B turn into 4 and 3? Okay, A over B, right? Okay, now this line has a, what is it called? Y-intercept at 0, right? So this line is basically the equation of A over B, A over B, which is the slope, and x. Are you guys with me? So y equals mx plus b, right? M is a over b. And then b, which was the y-intercept, is 0 because it's crossing at 0. Yes? Mm-hmm. However, making this a little complicated, let's write it for a very general equation. Just in case the center is no longer at the origin, what if it moved, right? We don't always want to kind of go back and not be able to apply this equation for everything. So we're going to remember transformation equations. Transformation equation is always x minus h plus k, right? And then it could be squared, it could be cubed, it could be 1/2 or whatever power it is. It doesn't matter, but it's always x minus h plus k. So this is the general equation. However, there is not only one asymptote, there are two asymptotes. So what is the slope of that other line? Negative a over b, right? Because it's going to go rise over run, so down and then over. All right, so let's write the asymptote equations. Y equals, because there are two lines, it's going to be plus minus a over b x minus h plus k. All right, let's have you guys do the one on the right. The versus, yeah, question?
How do you know if it's plus minus a over b?
Because you have these two lines, right? Diagonal. If you go to this one that points towards the right, you go up a over b. Like up a over b.
Okay.
And the other one goes down a over b. Yeah.
Why wouldn't x minus h be squared?
Oh, because this is a linear line.
Oh.
Squared is parabola. Okay, vertices, foci, asymptotes. Okay, vertices is h plus minus a comma k. Foci is h plus minus c comma k. The asymptote, because the direction switches, so it's going to be plus minus b over a, not a over b, okay? Because, you know, they flipped over. So it's still x minus h plus k, because that's just a y equals mx plus b line. All right, let's do one problem. A hyperbola centered at origin has vertices plus minus 4, 0, and one focus 5, 0. Find the standard form equation. Standard form. I didn't give you the equations. Okay, y minus h squared. Okay, it's kind of like the ellipse equation, except it's not. It's going to be minus, just to make you very confused. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. One more thing. This is the confusing thing. Let's look at this hyperbola. Which direction does this hyperbola open? Up and down. So what direction is that? X or Y? Y. So Y comes first. Okay, direction matter on this one. And then it's going to be minus x minus h squared equals 1. Okay. I'm just afraid that when I tell you this, you guys will be like, what? Okay, for hyperbola, a squared always comes first. Does not matter which one's bigger, does not matter which direction it is, it's always a squared first. All right, and this one here. All right, so which one's gonna come first, x or y? Very good. X minus h squared minus y minus k squared equals 1. Where does a squared go? First one. First one's the perfect answer. First one. Okay. All right, the last thing. C squared. C squared is a squared plus b squared. Just to confuse you even more, it is not the same as ellipse. It's crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Okay. If you cannot do the homework because you have no idea what to do, then we'll do it tomorrow. Just don't worry about it. Just study for your quiz.
We have a quiz.
You do have a quiz tomorrow.